Cheyenne's disgusting in the best way possible. So this is the first video as part of a 5-part series, and I've been wanting to choreograph to this song for the longest time. It's been in my choreography vault for as long as I can remember. Well, no, as long as it's been around, this song, and I'm really excited to dive into it today. Hey, my name is Gemma Craig and I am a dance choreographer and teacher based in Melbourne, Australia. Today I'm going to take you behind the scenes of my latest dance concept and show you the steps involved in creating your own dance video. Number one, you might want to create one so that you can challenge yourself creatively. If you're feeling stale creatively and you want to challenge yourself, you want to push yourself, you want to grow and develop as a creative, then setting up a simple small project, grabbing a song that you love, creating some steps to it and filming it is a really easy way to challenge your choreography and challenge your creativity. Reason number two, if you want to become either a dance choreographer or dance teacher, or you're already doing those things and you just want to grow within the career you're already in, then showing your work is, as we know in this day and age, like king. Content is king, documentation is king. It's basically a video resume, a portfolio of your work, and particularly as a creative, it is like so crucial in this industry. Highly recommend if you are a creative individual, even if you are chasing more of the performance and just dancing work, creating something to showcase your dancing, whether it's your choreography or not, is highly beneficial and gonna sell you the same as selling your choreography. You could also do both simultaneously. You could sell yourself as a dancer and a choreographer / teacher at the same time. Let me tell you a little bit about this video. So it's a part of a series. I'm calling it the Versatility series because I'm challenging my versatility. Well, I'm challenging and showcasing my versatility as a choreographer. This was the first one that I did out of 5. Currently, like right now, as I'm filming this, we have done 4 and we have 1 left to go. The song is Crybaby by Megan Thee Stallion, however you say it. I've been wanting to choreograph to this song for forever. It's been in my vault for ages. As soon as I had the idea for this and I needed a commercial, I was like, that song is an absolute, it is the contender. Before we jump into the steps that I took in order to create this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to the team at Pride Productions, the BTS material that you're also seeing overlaid as part of this video. Full transparency, they are my media sponsor. I also work for the company and my partner Andrew also runs the company. So full transparency. Big shout out to Andrew and the team. Big love, and yeah, let's dive in. So the first step I recommend anyone do when they first start a project, no matter how small or big it is to do like a huge brain dump or a brainstorm. I am super old school.
Get out, grandma!
And I personally like to get a big art diary, like, you know, the ones that are plain and they're not lined. I will chuck the idea in the middle and then I'll literally just do all these arrows with anything and everything I think of. Vibe, themes, you know, song ideas if you have multiple song ideas, you know, types of movement you see, like I described the movement that I see. If there's particular inspo, so like music videos or filmed shows that you've seen, movies, anything that you think fits this vibe. I knew I wanted like this, almost like a 90s vibe in terms of the way it was filmed. So like fisheye whilst not being fisheye, like, you know, the old hip hop videos where like they get all up in your grill like this, kind of like that. I wanted a little bit of that feel to it because I wanted this aggressive ratchet commercial. So for this video in particular, I knew I wanted to challenge myself with choreographing a prop. So I used a hoodie. And she uses the hoodie in a variety of ways. She like takes it over her head, she like plays with it like this, she takes it off at the end and she puts it around her neck and she's like, woo. For me, I wanted that extra challenge. Like, not only was I pushing myself with my creativity and versatility, but I was like, I also want to challenge myself to choreograph with a thing, featuring a thing, which was a hoodie. So that was a part of my brainstorm. Anytime that I see something on Instagram that I love, I will save it. And I will either save it to a general projects, like I just have a projects folder, or like inspo projects or something. And then I will have specific folders for different projects that I'm doing once I know that I'm doing them. So I had a couple of things saved for this specific video. Once I had brain dumped everything, I kind of was like, great, what do I definitely want? And I would circle them or highlight them. I had a chat with, the videographer for this was also my partner, Andrew. So we had a chat, and then I brain dumped my brain dump to him so that he could understand and kind of see my vision. And then from there we bounced ideas. It really depends how you want to work with your videographer and director. If there's someone you really like their creativity and you really like their work and what they do, I would definitely recommend letting them have some sort of creative input. I think it's really easy for us dancers and choreographers to get really married to the movement and the choreo and then not really allow anyone else in. A lot of beauty comes from collaboration. I would say trust your director. Have a think about the relationship and the collaboration you want to have with your videographer, because arguably sometimes the best projects come out of collaboration. Okay, now we have the choreographic process. Creating the routine and actually figuring out what the dance is going to look like. I feel like the hardest thing is literally just starting. Once you're in the zone and like on a roll, it normally comes out pretty organically, pretty naturally, but sometimes the hardest thing is just starting. I've heard a lot of people say over the years, like,
how do you start? Like, how do you do it? How do you do the thing?
I like to either listen to it with headphones on so that I can really, like, I've got no other sensory stimulation and I'm just focusing on the song. A lot of the times I'll even put my headphones on, make sure it's quite loud, and close my eyes so that literally
like, my brain is only filled with the music.
I'm also a visual person, like I can visualize in my head, and a lot of times when I put headphones on, it transfers me into like my visualization world, you know, and I'll start seeing things. I'll start seeing like, maybe expansion of movement coming in. I might see something really general, or I might see something really specific, and that sometimes gives me a little bit of a trigger or a cue to begin. That's a really good way to literally just start.
Because when I was visualizing it, I wasn't just visualizing it in a studio, I was visualizing it in the setting. So I think that helped me see what kind of visuals I wanted and then be able to reverse engineer the movement. And then there were some things that, even though I was like, maybe I didn't love it on myself, I knew that you would be able to bring it to life in a different way. So I just trusted the movement anyway, because I was like, it's going to look completely different on you versus me.
So that's one way that I would recommend you to begin if you don't know where to begin. Another way is chucking the song on and just improvising or freestyling to the song. Like, just move. However the music is telling you to move, just move and see what comes out. This can be a good way to get really organic movement and get this natural vibe like that comes from your movement, because it's in response to the song, instead of manufacturing every single movement. Not that that's a bad thing, because some people love to work that way, myself included, but sometimes just a bit of freestyle can give you a good start or lead you on the right path, or at least like just turns the light on and you can see a little bit of the path and you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. So once you've done either both of those techniques or one of them, and you feel a little bit more inspired and a little bit more motivated to create movement, then choose a section that you want to choreograph to. Some people like to choreograph chronologically and just start from the beginning. Sometimes I like to do this because it allows me to feel the way that the choreography builds, so I can start it where I want to start it, and then from there, as the music does this, I can kind of adapt to my movement to be the same, and I can feel the journey of the piece straight away. Other times though, I choose a section that I'm really vibing. So if you're like, man, I love the bridge of this song, and that's like your favorite part, choreograph to that first, because it's probably going to be the easiest. Now you're creating, you're coming up with movement. Either If you're feeling the lyrics or you're feeling the accents in the music or a bit of both, determine what you want to hit in the music and start creating movement to it, whether it's movement to
The words.
The syllables to like
bass, whatever it is in the music, start deciding and making decisions, even if you're not 100% about the decisions yet. Which leads me on to my next tip, which is something is better than nothing, okay? Something is better than nothing. Having a draft allows you to step back, look at it and go, great, what do I think? What do I like? What do I not like? What am I unsure about? And then from there, it's a lot easier to tweak, refine, and change things because you can see it. Another tip is to video yourself while you do it. And it's not necessarily to share it on social media, so you don't necessarily have to have that pressure, but it's also good to show your process. People are interested in that, so also recommend sharing that. But also so that you can just watch it back. Because sometimes, for example, something I do will feel really good. I'll watch it, I'll be like, man, I don't like that shape. Or I don't like the way that looks. So then it's a lot easier for me to articulate what I don't like about it and go, oh, it's the shape I don't like. I'm okay with the weight transference, or I'm okay with the vibe of the move, but it's purely the shape. So let's work on the shape. Videoing yourself can be a great tool to help you get to that like refining stage. So once you've had a draft, you might want to video the draft and then refine from there. Lastly, it doesn't have to be a polished product. Unless you are dancing it, then maybe it does have to be a polished product. But if you are working with dancers and you're going to have a rehearsal after your choreographic process, then know that as well, you can use your dancers. You can talk to them, you can get feedback from them, you can have a feedback loop going with them that helps you make decisions about the choreography and continue to refine it. It can be like a second round of refinement. However, in saying that, I still think it's good to have something to give to them. So still make sure you've got a product being the choreography, to share with them. But if you're not 100% sold on every single detail, that's okay, because those parts that you're unsure about, you can actually say that to them in rehearsal and go, okay, hey, I'm gonna teach you this next part. I'm not too sure about the shapes, or whatever it is that you're unsure about. So let me know if it feels okay, and if you want to experiment, totally go for it, and I'll let you know what I like and don't like. Because then they might offer you suggestions and go, oh, your shape was this, like what if we made it like this? I don't know. I'm just like literally doing something random right now. But do you know what I mean? They might be able to give you a little change in detail that you haven't thought about and that you wouldn't have come up with because it's come from somebody else. And you might be like, oh, actually, that is absolutely what I want. Love that. Lock it in. Thank you so much. So don't forget, you can utilize your dancers as part of this choreographic process. Yeah, weirdly, this set, I actually just completely saw it in my head. Got up, did it, and I was like, pretty happy with that. Filmed it, watched it back. I was like, oh yeah, happy with that. And then I knew that my dancer that I was using for this project, Cheyenne, shout out to Cheyenne Griggs, I knew that she would bring the choreography to life in a way that I couldn't. So anything that I wasn't obsessed with, same as what I was saying before, I knew that she would be able to help me with that. Or I'd be able to ask her for suggestions and she'd be able to help me refine and figure it out and finalize the choreography. Rehearsal process. Firstly, you need a space to rehearse. This could be a studio, this could be another venue, this could be the location you're gonna film in. It could be anything you want. You can pay for the space, you can not pay for the space. You can keep it old school and do it on streets. But that's the first thing you need to organize for your rehearsal. Whether you're rehearsing yourself or you're rehearsing someone else, you need to figure that out. I knew where we were going to film this piece, and it was around the corner from a studio that I go to quite regularly, so I thought it would actually just be easier to book a studio there, which I did. The next thing is to make sure that you as a choreographer / teacher are prepared for this. So make sure you know the choreography well enough to articulate, whether that's understanding the counts or at least understanding the timing and the musicality. Maybe you can like film the car.
Get out!
Explain it like that if you're one of those people. So basically it's just knowing the choreography well enough that you can communicate yourself and articulate yourself well for the dancers learning it on the day. If you need to cut your music, cut your music. Bring costumes and props for the dancers to practice in. The more prepared you can be for rehearsal, the better your actual outcome is going to be. So the more you can make it feel like the actual thing in rehearsal, the more you're going to know exactly what your video is going to look like. Last thing with your rehearsal process is to just make sure that you get everything you want by the end of the rehearsal. Maybe worth having a clear idea, target, goal, trajectory that you want to achieve by the end of rehearsal. So for example, if there were parts that you weren't sure about when you were choreographing or you didn't 100% love, then making sure that you work on those parts during the rehearsal, get feedback from the dancers if that's what you want to do, and refine those parts. You want to make sure that you do all of that by the end of that rehearsal process, so you feel better about your choreography before you enter the filming process. Okay, filming process. This is the fun / stressful part. Don't get me wrong, it's exciting, it's fun, but a lot of times it's fast paced, there's a lot to think about, and you're just trying to make sure that you're getting your vision translated across the way that you want on film. Having a smooth filming process honestly comes down to being prepared before you even get to location. So it's things like creating a shot list with your videographer if that's what you want to do, or it's practicing angles in rehearsal and getting your dancers used to dancing for camera and doing it away from the mirror. It's having locations scouted and figured out exactly where you want to film, or booking a venue if that's what you want to do. All of this makes for a smooth filming process.
We're on our way to the shoot location. This is Cheyenne.
Hey.
What's up, Cheyenne?
Nothing much.
Probably shoot for like 2 hours max, maybe an hour and a half. Do the set a few times. Whee!
So on the actual day, my role on set was basically to make sure Cheyenne was all good and kind of block it out in the space. Andrew also joined me in with the blocking, because then he sometimes was like, you know what, actually it's gonna look really good from this angle, so we're just gonna tweak the choreography here. If there was anything I wasn't happy about in terms of like modifications to the choreography, I would say something. Dancing for film is a lot different than just like dancing in front of a camera. You know, like you want to kind of make it interactive, you want to make it feel purposeful, that this choreography has been created for this, instead of, hi, here's my dancing. Another thing Andrew and I spoke about is that if I get hired to be a choreographer on whatever, a music video or an ad, whatever it is, normally your role is purely to choreograph, and you don't always get to have sometimes any say in the direction. You know, sometimes choreographers will choreograph something and then like the dancing isn't even really featured in the end product, right? And that's just part of the job, because your job is to supply the dancing, and then it's someone else's job to take that and go, thank you so much. Now let me figure out how I want to put that in this.
Just this one particular shot, you get out this marker, you're like, and it looks like you're shining it on the lens of the camera.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. So we've got this acrylic and this big fat marker. It's meant to be very like street, like you walk past the camera, you see it, and you're like,
Oh, I love
there's
that.
my signature.
That's gonna be hot.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram. I was like, please go and do this.
Whether you want to do it small, whether you want to do it big, you know, it's totally up to you. I think there's a lot of power in showcasing your work, whether you're a dancer, choreographer, teacher, all of the above. I think there's a lot of power in it. So it's definitely something to consider if you want to go for more jobs, or if you want to apply for things and show people what you do. It's definitely worth considering showcasing and documenting your work. Please don't be intimidated if this looks really big to you or like a lot of work. You can do this on a much smaller scale. Also, you can do it on a much larger scale. This wasn't really a huge shoot in comparison to some other ones that I have done. So it's totally up to you where you feel like you are comfortable. It comes down to your budget, it comes down to your time, it comes down to your goals and your vision for your career. All of these things need to be taken into consideration to figure out what kind of video is best for you. Please not underestimate the time that it takes to film. Figure out how long each shot should roughly take you, whether that's figuring it out with your choreographer or figuring it out in rehearsals with your dancers if you are the one who's trying to film it on your phone or camera. Figure out how long you think it's going to take you and then add on more time, or even double it just to be safe.
Shoot for like 2 hours max, maybe an hour and a half.
To be honest, everyone loves an early wrap versus a it's past midnight and I don't know when we're finishing kind of vibe. So that would be my recommendation to anyone doing some filming. If you're interested in this series that I'm doing, then feel free to click here to find out a little bit more about it. Otherwise, if you're interested in my choreographic process personally, then feel free to check out this video where I walk you through the process of me building a jazz solo from scratch. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye!